the Malaysians and the investigators seem to think that the course this plane took, the sequence in which things were shut off on board that plane could not have happened by accident, that it had to be a deliberate action by someone on board the plane. Now, you heard there the Prime Minister talk about corridors, the areas where they believe the plane made its last electronic communication 7 hours after it disappeared off the radar off the coast of Malaysia. Now, they've handed out a map here. Now, I'm just going to hold it up for you. It's a little bit faint, but I think it is quite useful because it shows that the search has in some ways been actually narrowed down by what we've just learned. There are curved lines here, reaching down from Indonesia into the Southern Ocean, and up here, reaching north across China into Central Asia, into Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan. Now, based on the data which they received from the satellite here, which was communicating after it disappeared, they believe the last communication 7 hours later was somewhere along that line in the north or somewhere on this line to the south. So they are now focusing their attention on those specific areas, those specific corridors, trying to pinpoint more accurately where they think the plane may be. So this talk which we had before of it being somewhere in the Indian Ocean, well, that seems to be rather unlikely now. They're still looking in the southern Indian Ocean, but it's certainly not in the main part of the Indian Ocean, according to the data which they've been releasing today. Two distinct areas of investigation, to the south and to the north.
And the point is, Jonah, that they're saying the plane now flew for 7.5 hours before they lost any trace of it, which could put it thousands of miles from where it was supposed to be.
Well, absolutely. I mean, you could see from that map the potential places which the plane could be are very far apart in many ways. It's worth mentioning that the nature of these signals, this was the maintenance system on board the aircraft communicating with a satellite. A ping was exchanged between them. So they have a number of pings from the aircraft over the hours leading up to that final ping at 8:10 or so on the morning of last Saturday. So it's taken them a week, but they do now seem to have narrowed the search down in some ways. Surprisingly, one of the big search areas would be over land. And of course, there are big questions. Could a jumbo jet possibly have flown all that way across land and not been detected by radar systems of India, or of China? Lots of caveats have to be put in this. Is it really possible that the plane made it that far? Well, the Malaysians seem to think it is possible, and that's what they came out with today. And they say, look, this is what we know. We've denied having verifiable information for quite a few days now. This is what we know, and that's why we're pulling all of our resources out of the South China Sea, which is where people initially thought it was most likely to find this aircraft, and shifting it over to the Indian Ocean, and also making approaches to the various countries along that northern corridor, asking them if they've got any information on their radar systems to suggest that this plane could possibly have flown across their airspace in the early hours of last Saturday morning.